Hey, we got a great event coming up for you Thursday. It's a Ronald Reagan Black Tie Blue Jeans Barbecue, and our very special guest, the keynote speaker. I've got her on the line with me, Judge Jeanine Pirro, and you know her from Justice with Judge Jeanine, Fox News show, where she's also a legal analyst. And Judge, welcome. How you doing? Good morning.
I'm terrific. How are you this morning?
Fantastic. Look, we're all...
I can tell you're geared up this morning. I love it.
I'm always pumped up. I got plenty of energy, and then, I take my nap later on. That's my secret.
Okay, I can't wait to meet you guys.
We're all looking forward to it. We're all big fans. We all love you. I love how you come across on the air. It's clear you got a great legal background and a great TV success. So you've been involved in all of that. I want to point out to people that, as a prosecutor years ago, you put together the first domestic violence unit in the country. And with these new... go ahead.
Well, the truth is that when I was a young prosecutor, women were being shot, stabbed, beaten, and brutalized, and it wasn't a crime. It was considered a social problem. So unless you killed your wife, you could get away with it. So I started a program at the DA's office. I fought to change the laws, and now domestic violence is considered what it should be, a crime.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you were at the forefront of that. And now we've got all these recent sexual harassment things coming out, these bombshells, if you will, and people coming out from the past. And I think it's great because I think it frees people and from their shame that they might have felt when they were the victims, yet they felt shamed by it. And I just kind of wanted to get your take on all of this that's coming out now.
Well, it's interesting, your take, as I listen to you. That is a, very sophisticated understanding. So many people are saying, well, it was so many years ago, what difference does it make? Here's the difference it makes. For every woman who has been sexually abused and every woman who has been put in a situation where her livelihood depended upon, how she reacted to a sexual advance, this is a message that it's not going to be tolerated anymore. Something like domestic violence, when I started the first unit in the country in the late 70s. And, our society is constantly changing. And unless and until we bring these, horrible things to the light of day, they're going to continue to go on. And as victims remain silent, more victims are subject to all kinds of, not just harassment. My life, I dealt with murders, rapes, violent felonies, assaults, strangulation, stabbing. And so when I hear what's going on in Hollywood, those people who are so condescending about the rest of us as if they are the moral high ground, it not only gives me a sense of finally there may be justice, finally there may be a recognition that those people do not have the right or the moral standing to tell the rest of us what to do. But for the victim, the person that you're talking about, the message is clear. You're not going to do this to us anymore. Yeah,
and Judge, look, you're an attractive woman. You were in the, television world. You had to deal with high-powered men in the legal profession, all of those things. Did you ever have an issue or anybody that was trying to take advantage of you?
Look, I was the only woman in a room with men for most of my career. I was a young prosecutor and then the elected DA. There were 43 police chiefs under my jurisdiction. They were all men and they all had guns. Let me tell you something. They don't they don't come on to me, all right, because I guess I'm a different breed of cat. Most of them just wouldn't dare. And that is not in any way a put down to anyone else. I'm just I'm a rather strong person, and for those who crossed the line, they were put in their place in a way where they understood not to cross it ever again. And it doesn't matter if that person was in a robe or had a gun or anything else. But my job was to fight on behalf of those who didn't have a voice, to fight on behalf of the underdog, the victim, and that's just what I did for 30 years. And it was the best job in the world, making sure that we prosecuted those people who took advantage, who victimized innocent victims. And I'm not going to go into my DA years, but let me tell you something. the saddest person and the saddest category of people in this country are the victims who are blamed for their crimes, whether it's a sex crime or any other crime. And I like what is going on right now because that sunshine is a disinfectant.
All right, let's take it to Washington, D.C. Special counsel appointed, Paul Manafort, indicted. You've got these charges, but the whole thing, I thought, was supposed to create a connection between President Trump and Russia with this collusion word. And so far, and this investigation's gone on for a while, as you know, I don't see that they've made a connection. Is this just an extended fishing trip that Mueller's on?
Well, first of all, I like the way you think, and what you're highlighting is the fact that the special counsel is supposed to be connecting allegedly the connection between Russia and the president, and of course, there is not one iota of evidence in anywhere of any such collusion. In fact, the only collusion is between the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, a dossier, Jim Comey, and don't get me started. It's too early. But the Manafort Gates indictment has absolutely nothing to do with the president, nothing to do with the campaign. It's about his money laundering. It's about his tax evasion when he was working for foreign countries. And although they pull it into 2016, I mean, some of these prosecutors, and believe me, I worked with the feds and I worked with Jim Comey for years, they can be very creative. But right now, there is no connection at all. And as far as I'm concerned, that special counsel's office should be shut down. Shut down, pull the funds. There's no connection. They've been going on a witch hunt. And you know what? Everybody gave them the benefit of the doubt. They came up with nothing. It's time to shut it down. And that's what I'm going to talk about when I'm in Gainesville. I'm going to talk about what Americans need to know about this whole special counsel uranium deal. And on my show this Saturday night, you got to watch it, I'm going to be talking about what that uranium is used for. Americans don't know, but that uranium that the Clintons got $150 million for, that the Obama administration green-lighted to go to Russia, uranium is used in medical isotopes. And in this country, 20 million Americans are treated with analyzed with medical isotopes. And in the end, we're getting it from Russia. We're exporting it. Then, they can say we're not supposed to. But, it's going to them. Why do you think the Russians wanted it? And then they're jazzing it up and sending it back to us. It's time we made medical isotopes, nuclear imaging in the United States. Period. End of that story.
Yeah.
There is a reason that this stuff went to Russia.
Yeah.
It's all about the cash.
I love it. I love that kind of reporting. I love it when these kinds of things are exposed. We know in a lot of the media, they either don't do their job or they pretend like some stories aren't existing. However, this morning, I saw, and actually it was on the Fox News website, Donna Brazile now basically, coming to Jesus, if you will, about the fact that Hillary Clinton was deeply involved in pulling the rug out from under Bernie Sanders through the control of the DNC. What do you make of this all of a sudden? Like her and Elizabeth Warren, all of a sudden, Hillary's not such a great person.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on right now. Hillary's trying to run the party, and the Democrats want her out, and they are using those people who supported her to say it's time to go. But you know what, Donna Brazile, I am sorry, honey. You got no credibility with me. You got nothing with me. You're the one who was sending questions that were going to be asked at the debate to Hillary Clinton when you worked for CNN. You are, as far as I'm concerned, not worthy of being on television. And the last thing anyone should do is buy that book, because it is nothing more than even though when we confronted her and we said to her, what are you doing? You sent questions to Hillary Clinton. She says, I know what it's like to be persecuted as an African-American woman. She pulled out the race card. She lied. And you know what? I don't want to hear her a year later because she wants to make money on a book. Enough. enough of these people who sell their souls for money. They don't have a moral code. They don't have any sense of right and wrong and law and order. And it's time for them to go. And it's time for Jeff Sessions to prosecute and to investigate the uranium deal, the Clinton Foundation, because the Americans are furious. And that's what I'm going to talk about when I come to Gainesville. This is what I do. This is what I know. And you got to watch Saturday night. Justice at 9:00. Nuclear imaging. This uranium is being used on Americans. They're sending it back to us. We got to wake up and recognize how we're being played like patsy.
Well, we're gonna check that out Saturday night, 9 p.m. Justice with Judge and Judge Jeanine. We're looking forward to having you come here Thursday night, the Ronald Reagan Black Tie Blue Jeans Barbecue. Make sure now you're wearing your boots now, because it really is a dirt floor. It's the equestrian show place.
Well, let me tell you, I got loads of boots to choose from. Even though I'm a New York City gal, I'm best when I'm in my boots. I love it.
I love it. I love your attitude. I love what you do on Fox News, and we are all looking forward to seeing you Thursday night. So you take care.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Judge Jeanine Pirro.